Are you looking for shortcuts to success? Let me convince you today, there is no shortcut. Let me tell you a story about Picasso's napkin. Well, Pablo Picasso is a Spanish artist. He's one of the most influential artists of the 20th century. One day, Picasso was doodling on a napkin in a restaurant, and a woman approached Picasso to offer to buy the napkin. Picasso asked for 10,000, and the woman was caught off guard and said, "But you did that in 30 seconds." Picasso replied, "No, it has taken me 30 years to do that." What Picasso really meant was it took him 30 years to be able to do that in 30 seconds. What's the takeaway of Picasso's story? You have seen it in a motivational poster before. No one is an overnight success. Most of you just want the outcome, but don't want to suffer through the journey or put in the work. Malcolm Gladwell has written this well-selling book, Outliers. He said it takes 10,000 hours to achieve excellence in any discipline. Well, that sounds more plausible than the instant success story you see online all the time. How a 30-year-old makes $100,000 a month working only 3 hours a week. That's deceptive. Truth is, the person spent many hours building his online empire and achieved product market fit to afford that lifestyle. Yes, you can try that path too. One, you're not guaranteed to replicate his success. I can relate to that. I'm trying right now. If everyone can, no one will have a corporate job and we all be sole proprietors. Two, even if you think you're onto something with real traction, scaling a business and building a brand takes time. Again, I can relate to that. Media is incented to get your attention with such title because they want your readership. Thankfully, most readers are not delusional. There's always a small subset of folks who will draw the wrong conclusion. Oh, I can just be a YouTuber and achieve instant fame. So why are instant success stories so much easier to portray today than, say, 30 years ago? Well, it's really thanks to internet. I gotta admit, internet is one of the greatest inventions in my lifetime so far. It democratized information and made everybody's life easier. But you have to realize you are not the exclusive beneficiary of internet. Internet made it easy to get information out there for everyone. That means everyone can have a newsletter, a social media account, a podcast, a YouTube channel, a Twitter, and so on. But there's only one liquidity, as the big dog in my space, the biggest financial memer, one Mr. Beast, the most followed YouTuber in the world, one Patrick O'Shaughnessy, the best financial podcaster, in my opinion. For example, becoming the next super YouTuber. Very hard. Just posting content on YouTube does not mean millions will follow you tomorrow. Well, I didn't have millions of followers after my first video. You can post video tomorrow too. Hell, your phone camera is probably better than the camera I'm using to film this video. So you try that. But you have to be unique and you have to solve real problems. In a startup, you need product market fit. In social media, you need content audience fit. And most cannot achieve the critical mass to sustain a lifestyle of being a social media person. And I am aware there is a big social trend of the younger generation all aspiring to be a YouTuber. I think it's kind of tragic. Internet has changed the way ideas are distributed, but the game is still hard. Nevertheless, I do say there are some commonalities amongst successful people, no matter through what method they rose to fame. They work hard. They're obsessed about excellence. And they're constantly improving themselves. In the case of Jimmy Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast, he started his YouTube channel when he was 13 years old. Okay, I don't know why a 13-year-old is so obsessed about YouTube. But hey, that's why he became the world's most followed YouTuber at the age of 24. Right? He worked hard at his craft. He worked on his game. If you're unconvinced, watch this clip on how he describes his obsession.
But what were you obsessed about? Were you obsessed about other channels, your channel?
Everything from learning how to editing, the pacing of the videos, like ideas, what's going viral, what's trending, what's hot. Especially back then, I had no idea what worked. I mean, I had to self-teach myself everything, even, frame rate on cameras, coloring of the video, just stuff like that.
So what is the secret of success? It's hard work. That's a not so well kept secret that most people don't want to hear and definitely don't want to implement. Which career path gets me to 7-figure paycheck most quickly? Most people who ask this question want to get rich quickly without working hard and taking a lot of risk. I'm sorry, but money doesn't grow on trees. There's a reason why working at the Department of Motor Vehicles is probably not a path to prosperity for anyone. Some paths does offer you quicker time to wealth, but they are riskier, higher stress, and longer hours. There's no guarantee you will do well in that path. And I definitely see this in online forums a lot, right? Blindly choosing a path based on just earnings trajectory without understanding your personal interest and fit. Let's face it, a lot of these paths are very detrimental to your mental health. So you got to keep that in mind as well. For example, for entrepreneurship, vision or idea is easy. Sadly, execution is not. Selling everything online and making electric vehicle are two simple ideas, but Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk made them happen at scale. Go ask them how operationally complex it is to make Amazon and Tesla happen. I think they totally deserve the wealth and fame for their execution as much as their vision. Very topically, Brian Armstrong and Sam Bankman-Fried both executed on the vision of a crypto exchange, but the outcome is vastly different, at least based on the information we have as of now. And I'm not talking about how much hair is on their head. The wealth and publicity are the fun part, and that's what the delusional and the clueless fantasize. Hard work is not fun. What you desire is this. But to get here, you have to go through this. So keep that in mind. Overnight success in reality is a result of compounded effort to build and grow. The experts just make it look effortless. This ties back to the Picasso story at the beginning of this video. The media is never reporting on the painful journey because sleepless nights, stress, setbacks, failures don't attract readers and viewers. Life is not fair. Hard work does not guarantee success. And what's worse is the clueless and the delusional consider those who failed to be losers. The ones who do have the maturity or have been through the same journey of building something, they at least understand the failed ones are at least courageous enough to take risk and get out of their comfort zone. My goal of making this video is to convert some of the clueless and delusional to someone who gets it. That there is no secret to success. There is no shortcut to mastery. If you have it easy, don't expect to make it big. If you like this video, please click like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for future contents. So I've heard this new trend called quiet quitting, which is doing the bare minimum task of your job description well enough so that you don't get fired. I guess the quiet quitters keep it so real that their asses are out the door the moment the clock strikes 5 o'clock, no matter what. Let's talk about why that's a problem for you. I get it. Like, no matter how hard you work, the value of your work accrues to the owner. So why work so hard, huh? But here's the thing. To become an owner, you need to work hard too. So either way, you have to work hard. And I argue being an owner is way harder. And that's why there are way more salaried workers than owners on this planet. And why do you think that is? Very simplistically, a business needs products, capital, sales channel to reach willing customers, legal, human resources, finance, and so on. When you are an employee, you work at a company and you collect a paycheck and you get benefits. All the things I talked about before is already built. Product market fit is established. Sales and distribution channel is there. The business is financed. The office is furnished. You will likely be given a corporate laptop. You don't need to worry about any of that. The first day you show up at work, you just work. For that reason, you don't typically share in the value creation of the company, except a small amount of stock options very prevalent in the technology industry, and the options to buy company stock at a discounted price through a stock purchase plan. But that's it. If your company's value increases, i.e. the stock goes up, you get a salary. The company's stock value goes down, you still get the same salary. If the company needs to cut costs, your ass is gone. Not personal, it's just finance. Conversely, when you are the owner, yes, you reap the value created by your business. Okay, now I'm gonna sound like Ben Shapiro to say you deserve to be in that position because you dealt with the things that your employee did not need to. When you first started a business, you had no product. You might need to convince others to provide capital if you need external financing. You need to market. You need to convince customers your company's product solves a real problem. You need to deal with bad employee hires. And you as the owner assumes all the risk of whether your invested time and capital will become either zero or a Google or Amazon. That's the trade-off. As an employee, you take human capital risk, which is also a time risk. But if it doesn't work out for you with the company, you go somewhere else. As an owner, you take time risk and financial risk. If it doesn't work out, you wasted time too. But more importantly, you lost your capital and the trust of your investors. As you can see, I hope I convinced you why as an employee, you don't get to participate in the upside of the company you work for because you're not in as much of a high risk reward situation as the owner/founder. The world for most of the time is pretty efficient. You can complain about why you're not the owner of anything, but unless you play lacrosse or equestrian at your $50,000 per year tuition boarding school, you and I were dealt the same hand in life, and we gotta play with what we have. And I can tell you, quiet quitting is the only way to guarantee mediocrity or worse, failure in life. To create value, you need skills. If you decide to half-ass on your job after just graduating college, you're going to develop zero skills. The same skills that could help you build something that you can own in the future, whether it's a business, a social media presence, a brand, and so on. I don't really care about the societal implication of quiet quitting, but I care about how it impacts your personal prospect. The other issue is no one likes to have a quiet quitter at work. The CEO, your manager, and even your colleagues don't like that because they might have to pick up your slack. You will probably say, well, I don't care about what they think. Forget about losing your job for a second. Part of being in a corporate environment is meeting mentors and sponsors who can guide you in the right direction in your career. For example, if you're just unhappy about your current job situation, that's a more fair reason than you being unmotivated. But at least if you have a good attitude about wanting to be better and finding a better fit for yourself, people at your workplace can introduce you to a better fit opportunity. I've studied 3 languages in my life: English, Japanese, and Spanish. I can tell you, if you have a shaky foundation, you can pass the elementary level language course, but you will struggle mightily at the next level because everything builds on the foundation. Career is the same way. I began my career as a consulting actuary after graduating from college with very bad grades. So I was pretty grateful and I had great mentors on my job. I got very strong Excel shortcut skills and general resourcefulness that I still benefit from today. That is especially true right now as an entrepreneur. Think about it. Everything costs money if I outsource. I can learn anything pretty quickly because I have been a consultant for a long time, and a big part of being a consultant, and frankly any high pressure job, is to learn how to figure things out on your own. Today I do graphic design, make website, marketing. Good thing I have a social media following. Then I gotta learn how to sell. And finally, I gotta do the finance. Good thing I analyzed business for a living before. So the point is, you never know what the skills you have learned in your prior job can help you in a situation where you're on your own, trying to build something that you could own in the future. If you're at a job you're not happy about, or you've decided to quiet quit, I suggest be very open-minded about what you learn on your job currently. You never know when your technical skills can come into play when you go on your own, or be in a capacity where your value creation and financial reward is much more aligned with that of your employers. So don't quiet quit. You should put in the work because, okay, fine, you don't care about the company you currently work for. That happens to a lot of us. I might not be able to entirely blame you, but you should care about increasing your own intrinsic value. I am a value investor. If you think about the labor market pays a price for what you sign up to do as a labor, but you don't really control the price the labor market is willing to pay for the value you can add. The market price for a profession is decided by supply and demand, and it's usually a pretty narrow band. But you are 100% in control of your own intrinsic value. You can add value to yourself by reading and learning skills that are valuable for whatever you want to do down the road. Most people on all sorts of online channels are relentlessly focusing on price. That's wrong. Instead, you should focus on your intrinsic value. Invest in yourself. If you want to get paid more, become more valuable as an employee, the higher the upside a job is, the higher intrinsic value it requires you, and the more risk taking it involves. The labor market is as efficient as the stock market in most of the time. If you believe you are undervalued and you have the intrinsic value, I can guarantee you the labor market will ultimately value you correctly. Now I will leave you with one of my favorite motivational speeches by Denzel Washington. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. I'll see you at work. Please leave a comment if you have questions or feedback. You can find more resources on my website. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.